Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Going over today's MLB main slate for today on DraftKings. We have a nice 10-game slate for that, starting at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Anyway, before we continue, if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, really appreciate that. We're getting really close to 2,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate that very much. That'll be a pretty cool milestone to hit. And also, if you want access to this cheat sheet and the pitching model and the hitting model, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. So if you want to check that out, I'd really appreciate it. We've already had quite a few people already so far. We have golf, golf, UFC, NASCAR, MLB, NFL when that happens, and we have an all-access package too. So just something if you're interested in it, because you're going to get access to some extra features. And yeah, so let's get into the cheat sheet. Sorry, my dog is jingling around. He likes to seem to do that when I start recording. Just want to say hi, but alright, anyway, let's get into the cheat sheet. Also, follow me on Twitter at ChrisPinell16. Forgot to mention that. Okay, so SP1 for me is going to be Jacob deGrom at 2,500. So the wind looks to be blowing across the field with maybe a hint coming in a little bit. But nonetheless, I love deGrom with his skill set and his lowered price. I'd be interested around 11,000 at 2,500. I think that's a good value for an ace-level pitcher. I think his carry rate's sitting around 30% this year, and just really, he's kind of the only pitcher on this slate with the kind of upside I'm looking for at that price. So definitely Jacob deGrom. He's pretty easy to fit in because once again, these Rangers are just too cheap. And then Zach Plesac, 7,700. Didn't work out well for Bauer, but the call up, I forget his name, started with a C, CIV or something. But he had a really good game yesterday, and Plesac isn't too shabby himself, and he should have his way with this right-handed heavy lineup. He did struggle a little bit versus lefties, but we're only going to see a couple of those with Stewart and Goodrum, so I do think he can have a pretty good game going against the Tigers. And then Michael Pineda at 6,700. It's gross, but the Royals team is just pretty weak overall, and he should be a near lock for a win, and he's had I believe two decent games in a row, so don't mind going with Pineda. And if you want to be really dirty with a punt, Adrian Sampson, maybe versus the White Sox. That's completely gross, but if you really want to punt SP2, I wouldn't mind going with that possibly. And then a catcher, we have Yasmani Grandal at 4,700 if we want to spend all the way up. Desclafani is an easy guy to break down. We play the lefties versus him and fade the righties, and the Brewers have a ton of good lefties, and it's a great ballpark for hitting, and the Brewers love hitting at home, so definitely like the Brewers. And then if we're going to punt, Danny Jansen and Jeff Mathis are just low 2K. I believe 2,100 and 2K. Just a favorite punt plays. And then Jason Castro at 3,700. As you're going to see here soon, I really like the Twins lefties. It's no surprise. Then at first base, we have Jose Abreu at 4,500. So we have two reverse splits righties, and I always like these kind of matchups. And I'm going to give the advantage to Abreu because he's obviously a much better hitter than Sampson as a pitcher. And it's an awesome park for hitting, and it's going to be hot, so love Abreu. Then Tyler White, 3,200. You could also go with Yuli Gurriel, but he was a little bit cheaper. So with him, nothing exciting, but just a cheap Astro versus Hap, and gets the platoon advantage. And then Rhys Hoskins at 4,200. I like him versus righties better, and I know the Miami pitcher had a good first two starts versus St. Louis, but let's see how he does versus the Phillies. I do think it's a tougher matchup. St. Louis hasn't been hitting all that well, and they're a pretty right-handed heavy lineup, so don't mind the Phillies today. And then at second base, we have Rougned Odor. He didn't make the lineup last night, which sucked because I really liked him. But I'd assume he'd give me back 4,000. And it's a dream spot for this lefty-heavy lineup versus Nova. And Mike Moustakas, I have the same notes as Grandal, just like all the lefties here. So that would go for Yelich too, and anyone else I'm forgetting. Then Jose Altuve, 3,800. I could see him being popular. He's just super cheap for a guy like Jose Altuve. I remember earlier in the year we were playing like 5K for that guy. And just Hap doesn't really intimidate me too much. Then at third base we have Asdrubal Cabrera, 3,900. Just going to keep repeating myself, but love all the lefties here versus Nova. And he's fairly priced. And I do like Cabrera hitting from the left side of the plate. And Alex Bregman at 4,900. Elite numbers versus lefties. And we get an average one here in Hap, and I'm going to give the big advantage to Bregman in this matchup. And also we're going to be in Yankee Stadium too, which is hitter-friendly park. Then Travis Shaw, 2,700. He's a core play for me just from how cheap he is, and lefty versus Desclafani, so like Travis Shaw. And then at shortstop, we already talked about Bregman. Jorge Polanco. This looks like it's going to be a spend-up position for me. I'm not seeing too many value guys I like. I don't even mind Lindor either, but I like these guys a little bit better. because I do like Lindor as a lefty better. But yeah, Jorge Polanco, love all the Twins lefties versus Homer Bailey, who just gives up a lot of power to lefties. The Manny Machado, 4,700. He's been elite versus lefties this season, and Brolt has really struggled with righties. Not the best target for hitting, but neither is San Diego, so don't mind Machado. And then in the high-end outfield, we have Shin-Soo Choo, 5,300. Just another day, another Ranger stack versus bad pitchers. I like lefties versus Nova generally, and we get a ton of good ones here in Texas. Max Kepler, 5,200. You guys already knew he was going to be on here. Twins lefties are one of the top stacks versus Homer Bailey tonight. Emphasis on the Homer. And yeah, I just love all the lefties. And then Jordan Luplow, 4,700, facing another lefty. I said a lot of people weren't going to play him versus Matt Boyd, but he's been one of the best lefty hitters in the league, and he did homer off of Matt Boyd. And he's going to be hitting cleanup, and like I said, quietly one of the best hitters in baseball versus left-handed pitching, and Daniel Norris is nothing to write home about. He really gives up a lot of hard contact, so I don't mind going with Luplow, or Luplow, whatever it is. And then in the mid-range outfield, Nomar Mazara, I'm going to keep playing this guy. He's got 3 homers the past 2 games, and really, how many moonshots does this guy have to hit to get above 4.5K from DraftKings? I'm not complaining, though. I'm just going to keep loading him up. And I don't know if you guys saw, but he had 2 days ago, he had a 505-foot bomb. It was like 20 rows up in the high deck, so it was insane. So when he connects, he's going to go far. Then Eddie Rosario, 4,400, same reasons as Kepler, but he's much cheaper. And Willie Calhoun, just another cheaper Ranger lefty. And then in the value outfield, I didn't really see anything I liked below 4K, so I threw Bryce Harper on here. Just way too cheap facing a rookie righty, although I know he has had really 2 nice starts versus the Cards. But I like Bryce Harper at that price, and he did. He finally homered last night. So, all right. Anyway, let's go to some of the core plays. I have DeGrom at 2,500, Travis Shaw at 2,700, Nomar Mazara at 4,400. For the impactful weather, I just retweet stuff on Twitter as much as I can to give you the weather information, just easier that way. The top stacks for me are the Rangers-White Sox game, the Twins, particularly the lefties, the Brewers lefties, the Red Sox, the Indians, and the Phillies. And if you're wondering what that new stuff is, it's one of the extra things I do for people that have access to this cheat sheet on Patreon. I do my favorite cash game pitcher pairing, GBP pitcher pairing, some home run calls, and some top values. And I do the updates during the day, and I actually did an update early, but you wouldn't understand that unless you had the model. So we have the pitching model with the projections and the hitting model with the projections. And also, if you guys haven't checked out the NASCAR video, NASCAR is at 3 p.m. tomorrow. I posted my NASCAR video, so I'd recommend go watch that. I think it's the most recent video. And yeah, so that's going to be it for the video, guys. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to our channel. Really appreciate that. Follow me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16. And I wish you guys the best of luck and have a great day.